I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
What's up, everybody? I'm Fool.
I'm Jay.
And this is Unplugged, Free Your Mind for the evening. Unfortunately, our third party may not be coming on tonight for a particular reason. We don't put his business out there like that. We love him, support him, and we're going to keep everybody in our prayers. As usual, we're going to be talking about an array of topics from an unbiased point of view. We have a guest coming on. He's going to be coming on about 30 minutes later. And we're going to touch on something that we've been talking about for the past couple weeks. Excuse me. Guys, I'm actually eating some soup.
Yep.
Jay hasn't been on in a while. I'm going to let her tell y'all exactly what's been going on. And in the meantime, I'm going to start sharing this everywhere to get people done, because people need to hear from Marcel so they can understand why people should not vote for Raphael Warnock at all. Fuck that motherfucker. So we got to be on code. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish eating my soup and let Jay break some stuff down.
Thank you, Fool. Thank you. I've missed everyone. So everybody know I have been on a bit of a hiatus, but with good intention, I guess, on my own. Been working a lot. Started working with a new band that honestly have been keeping me extremely busy. But I've been enjoying it. I mean, who doesn't enjoy, wedding season? It's just been busy times, working on different projects. If y'all follow me on Facebook, you may know what I'm talking about because I post pretty much everything. Working on this really big project that may be coming to a network near you, where it's like the decades versus the decades. I was Team Y2K. Coming up in December, I'm going to be Team 80s, 2 bands on stage playing all these great hits, and the audience get to vote who wins. Really good stuff. Just really settling into my craft, doing what it is that I love to do. But I do want everyone to know that I have missed being sitting here with you on a Wednesday night, chopping it up. So y'all hit me up. Y'all follow me. I'm listed all of my info here if you're interested. I've missed a lot, but please know this: I do watch the shows. Even when I'm not on the show, I'm watching it, keeping up with y'all, keeping up with what's going on, especially in the crazy times that we have going on. I don't know. I don't know about you, Fu, but I feel like it's getting a little bit crazier and crazier. Not needless to say in the media, but just the world, like things going on in the world, things going on, in my home area, in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, all these areas. Y'all know I'm here in New York, just as crazy up here in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut, so I don't know. I just feel like it's so much going on. Like right before we went on, I was asking Fu, should I start off with the whole news people can't use? And he said something like right off that was like, no, don't nobody want to talk about that. And I'm sure I know why. Can I bring it up for a second? Do you mind if I bring it up for a second? I mean, it's the whole.
Just please don't bring up his name start ending YE, please.
Everybody know who I'm talking about. Everybody know what's going on now in news media. He's been just really out here and just saying a lot of stuff and doing a lot of things. And you have a lot of major companies that's like not wanting to work with him because of his views about a certain group of people. I don't even want to bring that up, but I'm not going to bring up the name of the group of people that he's talking about, but he's definitely getting a lot of news coverage because of what he said. And what I was telling Fu before we started was that if we really study history and how things are brought to our attention in a very specific way, get used to the fact that this person put himself out here when there's something big about to go down. Either there's new music dropping, or there's something, a business deal that's like on the horizon. It's sort of like how media get a response out of us, especially those of us who are like extremely plugged in to what's going on in news media. So literally, this is what I was saying right before we went live. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. I mean, honestly, I kind of feel like there's so many other things going on in the world, with the elections and everything coming up. We can turn our attention to something that's a little bit more important than that, you know. So I wasn't really gonna go into a lot of it, but I wanted to touch on the fact that I don't want people to be blinded by that shiny thing in front of you. See, the news media do that. They put that shiny thing in front of you because he is a very, well-known person. And I know y'all know who I'm talking about. So don't let that, please don't be distracted by news media and that. Like, let's stay focused on what we should be focused on, right now. That's, to me personally, it's my own, finance, health, that sort of things, the things that really mean something in that regard. So I'm sorry, I'll go off on a tangent.
And everybody, I forgot, if you're watching right now, please make sure you put the city and state where you live so that everybody can start connecting with each other. If you're watching on Facebook, please switch over to YouTube and make sure you subscribe. Tell other people to do the same thing. And the other thing I'm going to say to everybody is this. If you've seen a few of my videos from last week, I have a documentary that everybody needs to watch. I did not know it was 2 parts. The first part, you're going to be pissed off. I started watching the second part before the show started. I got 30 minutes left. The second part's going to make you want to choke somebody out. One particular person you're going to want to choke out because it shows these people's true colors, and it's crazy. So I will not be posting it on social media. I also will not be sending it through the Facebook Messenger. So if you're watching on Facebook right now, send me a message on the Messenger, send me your phone number, and I'll text it to you. If you have my phone number, text me and I will send it to you. What I will say about this documentary is this. Everybody needs to watch it.
You can't say the name of it.
Nah, I'm not gonna do it because I know it could kind of get flagged.
Okay.
But the thing about it is, for everybody that's watching, you have a lot of us that were spitting out truth about what was going on when all of this started, and nobody really wanted to believe it. When you watch this documentary, there's a bunch of receipts, and I say that everybody needs to watch it because somebody like me, it pisses me off. But in my personal opinion, people who were fooled and lied to, when they get pissed off, certain shit gonna hit the fan. Because so many people, and the part that I watched right before the show started, they start talking about the fucking kids. It's gonna be some pissed off parents when they see this shit. Oh my God. When they get to about 45 minutes left and they start saying certain shit, if you have children and you fell for this with your children and you see it, you're gonna be like, wow, it's crazy. Everybody needs to watch it. And I'm saying that because I want people to watch it. Take your notes. If you're that brainwashed that you just don't want to believe it, go check the sources yourself. When you go check it, that's when it's really gonna hit you like, oh wow. So please,
Yeah, Holly in Texas. She said she's been in Facebook jail for watching it. Hi, Holly, from Texas near Houston. Thanks for joining us.
Carlton, the fact that you said that just now, all I thought about was the movie The Cell. Like, as soon as you said that, it immediately took me to that movie. Like, yep, that would be about right. Matter of fact, in the comments, I'm gonna put my phone number. just in case somebody like Holly, she can't hit me up on the messenger, even though she already has it. In the comments, matter of fact, I could do this too, make it easier. That's my phone number, everybody. So text me. I'll send you the documentary. Watch it. And what I suggest is watch the documentary and send it to some people. Keep sending it to people. Text it to people. Do not post that shit on social media.
I'm pretty sure your phone is about to be blown up right now.
Actually, wait a minute.
Oh, trust. It's about to come through. Give it a minute. I'm gonna text you now because I want to know exactly what you're talking about. I want to see it.
Kid, oh shit. Let me see if we might have Kid Gravity might come on. So, all right, let's see. Let me send it to you.
Thank you.
Here we go. Copy. Okay, he said he can get on at 9. So he might be getting on around the same time that Marcel is going to be getting on. All right, I sent it to her.
See, going up.
Nah, I ain't going front. It's only 2 people, and counting you. So it's not really, it ain't happening yet. But I don't probably sent it out to about 40, 50 people already.
I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments now too. I think somebody may have said the name of it in the.
Matter of fact, I think I got. I'm almost.
Oh, Kid Gravity, what it is? Yeah, Jay.
Yo, Carlton. I see you watching, and I had already texted you the documentary. Have you watched it? And if you haven't, remember, it's 2 parts. You gotta watch the second part. Like, man.
So, I mean, so what happens with it? Do you have to, is it 2 parts where when you send the link to it, it's in the same space, or you got to find the second?
Nah. Once you get it, it's going to, the first part's up top. It's going to say part 2 underneath.
Oh, okay.
So you're good. But this shit.
You know, I want you to think about something for a second, Food. Think about when we first started the show, right? All of the things then that was, you know, the unknown. Is it surprising in a way that certain things now are coming to light? I'm trying to word that in the right way, but
hell no.
But I'm like, I'll be watching you when you live too, you know, and I'm just thinking, technically, this isn't something that we didn't expect. For the most part, I just didn't think that it would hit so soon. See, certain things sort of hit years later.
The reason why it hit so soon is because it was such a backlash. Hell, you live in New York. I'm pretty sure you heard about the court case, right?
No. What court case? Can you say it?
Everybody who lost their job.
Oh, that.
Yes. So the thing about it is they did their best to kind of hush people up.
Yeah.
But people did it the right way, and they were going through the courts.
Mm-hmm.
It's not but so much that you can do. So that's the other thing too, and it's not stopping. Now, something that I will tell y'all that was in the documentary that I just saw. They said you would have possible nausea, dizziness, and maybe joint pain or something like that. Whatever it was, that's how they was pushing it, that you might get that once you did that. Well, when it got approved, they had to release the documents. They knew exactly what the side effects were, and it's like thousands of pages. I didn't say 100, I said thousands of pages. It's the scariest shit in the world.
And that's the document is touching on that fact, is what you're saying.
The documentary is going to talk about that. And the other thing I'm going to say, because I've been making posts about this. Anybody who watching this show, y'all can get where I'm coming from. When all of this started, they was blaming all these deaths on DBOC 91. They blamed all the deaths on DBOC 91. Now that this is out, they're not blaming no deaths on that. People, I want y'all to just really think about what I said. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And that's the thing that's crazy that people are not talking about. It's cats who are literally leaving this earth days after they get it. They don't talk about that. Another thing about it is, remember, it takes time for it to progress and for you to see side effects and things like that. We have a lot of people dying. I'm not saying people don't die. I've been saying that. I've been saying people been getting sick since the beginning of time. People been dying since the beginning of time. There's no way that myocarditis, blood clots, and strokes are normal. They've made the shit normal. And there are kids dying from heart attacks now. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Nobody talking about that shit. Nobody's talking about this shit at all. So I just want people to really pay attention. I understand people got to grieve and things like that. But what you have to understand is if you did this and people have been getting sick and dying, there's a strong possibility that kind of sped up the process. That's why this shit is scary as fuck. Not anything out of the norm. Like, I got a video.
Well, I guess the question, at the same time is, could the same fact be argued for other things we've had to protect ourselves against, like the flu,
That's
polio?
You have to watch a documentary. It's all touched. That is touched on. And the reason why it's touched on is because once the PrEP Act was signed, we talked about the PrEP Act before, the autism rates shot through the roof.
Well, that now there's a documentary, and I wish I could think of the name of it, that also talks about that particular talks about autism within the past 30 years and our diets. I mean, I wish I could think of the name of it, but it talks about how progressively, in other words, 50, 60 years ago, that may have been an issue, but not like how it increased in the past 30 years based off of, hormones in our foods and synthetic foods and this and that. I mean, what I'm saying is the documentary said that certain things contributed to that.
And listen to what I'm getting ready to say. When it comes to the other ones that you can get, not particularly this one, the side effects are the fucking same. A lot of the side effects are the same, minus a few, because remember, this one was different. They had a particular technology with it. That's why it's so extreme. But a lot, because they talked about all of them. They talked about Ebola. They talked about H1N1.
Yes.
When you watch this documentary, oh shit, it's really gonna open up your eyes, and that's what I want for people. Like, tough love is tough love, and I'm not one to say I told you so, because that's not how you want it in this particular situation. Because unfortunately, in this situation, it's going to cause permanent stuff. It's going to have people permanently on medication. That's not fun. Like to put this into perspective, everybody, y'all need to understand something. The hashtag natural immunity has pretty much been banned. I want y'all to really put that into perspective. A fucking hashtag has been banned when it's something that we've been utilizing since creation. This right here that we have is what you're supposed to be using to fight shit off. You should not be injecting something in you artificial to take care of something. That's why, think about it. When you get sick, what happens? Give me something you're supposed to take artificial, something natural.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm not saying that that's not true. But what I'm saying is that's like saying watch something as deadly as Ebola or polio. Just let it travel through, and no one does anything to try to counter it. Is what I'm saying. So in other words, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with natural immunity, but what about those who don't have the healthy that to stave it off? And when you talk about polio, you're talking about kids who are born.
You got it, and that's the
And
thing.
that is
That's as far as with polio. Trust me, when you watch what's out there about polio, it'll change everything that you think about it. Polio it was the same way. It was the same way. The other thing about it is when you start talking about natural immunity with whatever disease that they have. Hey, Greg, we got you. We're gonna bring you on in a second. I see you. Here's the thing about that. You don't see on mainstream media them talking about natural immunity. They immediately talk about something that they have to shoot in you. That's the problem. They don't give the natural immunity a chance. That's an issue. That's a sign.
Well, the other issue is, are you going to sit? Can you ethically sit there and watch a ton of people die?
But they always say that a ton of people die. How do you even know that? That's what the news tells you.
That's not the question. The question is this. The question is, can you sit? To me, 2 people, it's too many.
That's you can't
but do you not try to counter certain, and see, infection's been around for years, and that's why I say I'm not
beginning of time
the whole natural immunity. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to thousands and thousands, and make no mistake, y'all, I am not defending this. What I'm saying is, at what point do we try to figure things out? Now, I say things could have been figured out in a way where people just needed to not be around each other, and be cautious about what you touch and where you are, this, that, and the third. I'm not saying that I'm on board with that, but at the same time, what I'm saying is it not the responsibility of the government or the people in charge of governing us to try to find solutions to a situation where thousands and thousands of people are dying?
Nah, and that's where the conversations have to be had, because it's not the government's responsibility. When you have, and the reason why I always bring that up is this: when we were young,
who I pay my taxes to, they're not
okay. All right, so let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you this: being that you are a mother,
yes,
if your child is sick, you calling the government to take care of your child? No, you're going to. Thank you.
But I do rely on doctors. And how do doctors and the likes get their licenses? From the board, who's governed by who?
Exactly.
Who's governed by who?
So, but once again, it's called the doctors that you're going to listen to, because unfortunately, what happened in the past 2 years, and actually when you watch the documentary, it's happened before. You have these doctors saying this. You have these doctors saying this.
True.
The powers that be will shun these doctors saying you don't need to do that. Do this.
That's true. It put people on 2 different trajectories. I will not argue that.
And that right there is the issue that we're having, because when you start talking about censorship, that's why I said in this particular situation. But once again, when you watch the documentary, it puts a lot of things into perspective, because you start to see, and there's one person with all that has happened. It's one name. Everybody knows the name who's behind all of this shit. And when you watch the documentary, that's what it is. But we're gonna move on, because we got Greg on. I'm actually kind of mad at myself, because I still don't understand how to post videos and stuff like that, like the way Greg is getting ready to come on. Jermaine usually knocks that out, because we want to show you a video of what happened, but we can just get it from the horse's mouth.
Okay.
Everybody, want to welcome Greg back on.
I'm not used to your first name, Greg. I'm used to your last name, darling.
No, Marcel's my middle name. Yeah, Marcel.
I follow you, honey, on Instagram. So I'm sorry I didn't know you by Greg. You caught me off guard.
No, Marcel is good. Marcel's good.
And Marcel, I gotta say this to you.
Yes.
You are a fucking gangster.
Ain't he?
You are a fucking the reason why I said that is because I have the utmost respect for you because you're not gonna sway off who you are and what you believe. And it means a lot to me because of the bullshit I keep hearing from people about why politicians, namely Abrams and Warnock, are not talking about reparations. And it's bullshit.
Oh my goodness.
And that's where I get very, very frustrated and annoying. Hearing what I'm hearing. I'm gonna say this before I kind of before we kind of get into this. The other day I played golf with a couple guys I've never met before, two brothers that look just like us, and I said, I got a question for y'all. Would y'all vote for a candidate that looks like you who is totally against reparations? Both of these dudes said I would have to look at the other issues. And I was like, wait a minute. Let me get something straight. You're telling me you have to look at the other issues if someone who looks like you is against something that everybody should be for when it comes to us. That should be that's non-negotiable. If they are against that, you should be against them. Then the argument turns into, well, you ain't talking about the Republicans talking about reparations. Why the fuck would I? That's not the point. The point of this is, if someone who looks like us is against an issue that's supposed to be for us, they do not deserve your vote, period. Because it shows that they are not on code. The one thing we should be as a people is on code. And we start holding elected officials accountable. So in other words, you don't vote Warnock in. You don't vote Stacey Abrams in. And by you doing that, you're sending a message to the next candidate. If your monkey ass ain't saying something about reparations, or you're going to say you against it, we're not for you. Fuck that. Is that the major issue? No. Do I believe they can make it happen? No. But if you're saying you're against it, I'm against you. Because the one thing you have once your ass get elected, or even when you're on the campaign trail, you have a bully pulpit. By you having a bully pulpit, you can constantly bring it up. If you constantly bring it up, that's where public opinion comes in. That's when people can say, why the fuck? Here's the biggest thing about this. That's when white people will say, why the fuck can't these black people get their reparations? Because once they start saying this shit is when it's going to happen, it ain't going to be us. That's where this shit gets frustrating because our people are so fucking brainwashed. It's that, and well, if I got to choose the lesser of the two evils, shut your dumb ass up. I hate that shit because for me right now, I live in Georgia. I'm not voting for Warnock for that reason. And I'm not voting for Herschel Walker because he's dumber than a bag of rocks. I'm not, that motherfucker's he's dumb. So what I'm going to do is, if there's another candidate on the ballot, I will vote for them, or I'm going to write my motherfucking name in. That's number one. On the other side, as far as Stacey Abrams, I had my reason why I wasn't voting for her. Then come to find out she ain't for it either. I'm good. I have no reason to support them. So for everybody watching, I wanted to bring Marcel on because Marcel actually had a face-to-face encounter with Raphael Warnock. I'm going to shut the hell up and I'm going to let Marcel take the stage and tell you exactly what happened, play by play, and he has the video proof to show it. Unmute yourself.
Well, yeah, Warnock was in Savannah, Georgia. I live in Jasper County, South Carolina, right across the bridge. So, and Savannah's my birth city. I mean, I'm there all the time because we don't have a lot of things in my rural county. So we go to Savannah often. So I said, well, let me go by there. And now sometimes I come turned up. I come out the car. Okay, like where's the I said, I'm going to listen to the candidates speak. And I've been doing this for the past year or so. I let them speak, and I wait to see if they are going to disappoint me. And when I say disappoint me, I want to be disappointed. I wait to see if they're going to mention something that specifically addresses the needs of Black Americans, descendants of American slaves. I have yet to be disappointed. They will talk about everything else and every other group besides us. Warnock talked about livable wages. Of course, he had to mention abortion because they love for us to kill and murder Black babies. That's the only thing they feel we deserve, by the way, is a right to abortion. They'll pay for that before they will pay a dime or a penny of the reparations we're owed. So after it was said and done, and people can view this on my Twitter account, Marcel Digit 4 Congress, and my Instagram account, my TikTok account, I went to Warnock the first time because I thought he was going to take questions. And matter of fact, I asked someone from his team, and that's stupid me because I should know better. I should know from past experience. Once you go to them and you ask, is he or she going to be taking questions? They give the message, do not take any questions. So when he didn't, people, because you know how we are, we wanted to take photos with him. I'm not here to take photos with you. You work for me. I'm here to hold you accountable. So I simply went to Warnock and I said, hey, you mentioned how essential workers deserve essential wages. I agree with you. Black Americans, and I want to be very clear, when I say Black Americans, I'm talking about descendants of American slaves. We are the original essential workers, but we never got our essential wages. I said, what is your view on reparations for people of our lineage? I said, your people, descendants of American slaves. I said, you don't talk about it. I said, Japanese Americans who were in turn got reparations. Native American tribes are getting reparations. Holocaust survivors, people in Guam whose ancestors were prisoners of war during World War II. But what about us? And he whispered something. Well, he wanted to say something to me, but he let his white handlers come and shoo him off. Before anyone tries to give him credit, I'm not giving him no credit. Because when I confronted Pete Buttigieg, an actual white man, about reparations, his team was trying to pull him away. And he said, no, I want to have this conversation. So respect to Pete Buttigieg, at least for saying to his team, I run things here. I want to talk to this Black man. Raphael Warnock is an actual senator of the U.S. He could have done that. He did not. So the second time, because you know I wasn't going to just let it go then, I waited in line. People were taking photos with him. A Black lady took photos with him, and then a white liberal showed up. And this lady went and told Raphael Warnock about her whole life, how she's going to school, where she wants to work, what her specialty, what specialty she has, and what she plans to do and why she's passionate about it. For 2 minutes, that man sat there and listened to her. I get to him and I say, hey, can I ask you about reparations? Him and some old geezer, no, brother. And I then said, so the white lady, you could talk to her for 2 minutes, but a Black American man, the people whose votes you claim you won, the people who Stacey Abrams said that without our votes, she will not win. But we can't ask any questions. We're supposed to just shut up and vote. Or like Tiffany Cross said, we're just supposed to fall in line and vote. So I got it all on camera because I kind of knew he was going to have that dismissive attitude. And he said to me, I'm not doing this with you. And he walked off, turned his back on me, but not just me. He turned his back on us because whether you agree with what I'm asking or not, I'm asking about us, this specific demographic in the United States of America. So they thought it was all said and done because I walked off. Well, no, I went to my car. I got my mega horn. Then I got on top of the platform where they put the tripods for the reporters. And I started going in on Warnock, on the Democrats, period, about how we vote for them. 85 to 95%, okay, of our vote goes to them. Almost all of our vote goes to them. Yet in the past 60 years, we have lost almost $400 billion worth of land. From 1910 to 1907, we've lost 16 to 19 million acres of land. We are now 60% of the homeless, even though according to the phony census, we're almost 15% of the population. You could safely say probably 18 to 20, but we're 60% of the homeless. We own the least amount of homes than any other ethnic group. We are 48% of us are home owners, okay? Other groups are in the high 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. we are around the same percentage of homeowners than we were during the days of Jim Crow, when it was legal to say to us, we're not going to sell to you, okay? Our wealth is heading towards zero, even though we are more educated now than we have ever been. Before COVID-19 hit, they said our wealth was going to be heading to zero. COVID-19 came, wiped out 50% of Black businesses. So you can safely say we might be there. 30% of Black families have a negative net worth, meaning they're not just broke, they're beyond broke. So even if you gave them money, that would just be trying to get them out the hole they're in. That's the level of poverty and lack of wealth with which our people are dealing with. And the least you could have done is simply say, what is your plan? So he thought that because he didn't answer me, that I was going to stop asking. I showed him, and I showed the sellouts there. That's not how it works. Y'all can ignore us, but you won't be able to get rid of us.
And that right there, that's part of the reason why I said, give me 1 second. There we go. It should be clicked off. There we go. That's why I said I commend you and I have respect for you, because the only way this is going to change is if we actually speak up. We have to speak up. And the only way to break somebody out of something is you got to like shake the shit out of them. And that's what needs to be done. You having that bullhorn and shit like that, that's going to make people think. And the other thing about it is, unfortunately, a majority of the older people, they're not going to fight for it.
Nope.
It's always going to be the younger people. But the issue is they've gotten through to the younger people because we have so many distractions with what's going on, and cats really don't pay attention.
So here's the good news. What did it? I'm going to post this. It's only 4 seconds long. When I was driving off, some big, fat, out of shape preacher, those are not all of them, but a lot of them are problems in our communities. The Black church went from being a place where we used to organize to get things done specifically for our community. After the civil rights movement, when they did all that tax exempt status and the sellouts and the coons, they started getting paid good money by people in either political party. Is the Black church went from being a place where we organize to revolt against our mistreatment to now being a place where they pay these poverty pimps who call themselves preachers to just keep us placated and keep us content. And then they wonder why a lot of young Black Americans now, we are at historic lows of church attendance in our community. So some preacher escorted me off and I went in on him. And the good news though, there's a sister who came and she was like, hey, he has a right to speak his mind. But that part was caught on camera. Across the street were our people living in the housing projects. They flagged me down and thanked me for what I said. And one of them even asked for my Instagram tag so she can follow me on Instagram. And she was like, I'm only 19 years old or 20 years old. She's like, and I know everything you said was the truth. So the good news is me getting that mega horn, the old people that have sold out, which by the way, not all have, but there were some old people there nodding their head when I was speaking. There are some of them. And, you know, it didn't happen in Savannah, but I've gone to events before. Some older people have come to me pretty emotional and said they thought the fight was over. They thought that we had just decided that we give up, but no. So the good news is not all of them have sold out, but when I got that mega horn, showing up and speaking out, the people who already have their mind made up that they're going to coon and they're going to sell out, I ain't worried about them. It's the people across the street like that who say, wow, this person's really speaking the truth. Those are the people we need to show up and speak out for. Those people who may have never heard anything different. They turn on the TV, the Democrats and the Republicans, but I ain't mad at the Republicans. The Republicans don't get most of our votes. We, the Republicans, they are a snake, and they show us they're a snake, and they act like a snake. Why am I going to get mad at a snake for acting like a snake? The Democrats disguise themselves as ponies, and they come out their pony costumes and they show us they are the most venomous snake at all because they're the ones that lured us into trusting them. So they control the media. So they don't let people like us get on the platform. They send out mailers because they have the money to do that. They have these big events and they try to indoctrinate our people. The reason they can't stand people like me and people like us is because we can't be bought. They realize that this generation is not as easy to buy out as the civil rights generation was when they killed the real leaders, and the ones that were sellouts and coons, they ran for Congress or bought them out, and they became preachers who sold our people out and told our people, don't ask for nothing, just show up and vote and shut up and let the other people of color, it's their turn to get policies like we've gotten what we're owed. So there is a large number of our people out there who have not yet heard this message, and when they hear it, they take to it. But we have to show up and speak out so they can hear it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but are we going to look at that video, because I've seen it multiple times?
I don't know how to pull it up. Like I said, Jermaine.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe, let me see. As a matter of fact, I see someone in the chat. I don't know if he's able to join, but let me see if I can pull it up for you guys so that you can see it. When I tell you, it caught me off guard. It came up on my stack. I was like, yes. You had that on.
May I respond to something real quick while you look at the video?
That's why before you even go on, 1 second. Diane, if you notice, what I did was I posted the link so that you could come on camera like we are right now to say what you want to say. You don't have to. Mind you, even if you decide to do it, this isn't about ganging up on you or anything like that. We just want to have a dialect. Now, if you don't come on, it's cool, but this is what I'm going to say to you, like I said a few minutes ago, if you didn't hear me say it. The only way we can hold I've stressed this, our elected officials accountable is to show them that if you are not for us, we can't support you. We cannot support you. We have to get more candidates in with the drive, like a Marcel, who's not going to leave his morals at the door. Bottom line is, you got two choices. And I'm gonna bring this example up to show you where I stand. When Biden was running against 45, I told people Biden and Harris is horse shit. 45 and Pence is dog shit. I don't vote for shit. Now, in this instance, Warnock has shown he's not for us. I'm not going to support that. Herschel Walker is dumber than a bag of rocks. I don't support that either. So I'm going to either write my name in or see if there's another candidate that I can vote for. Like, this isn't just about voting blue, because just voting blue, think about it. What has it gotten us? It has gotten us a bunch of symbolism and no action. Voting blue gets nothing specific for us as a people. It's always people of color, minorities. It's always somebody else. And they constantly do that. That's very, very dangerous. And once again, the only way we're going to get something in return is if we demand it. And one of the ways we demand it is not voting them in. Go ahead, Marcel.
Yeah, I want to say to her, that's that lesser of the two evils mentality, that Walker is so bad that, oh, well, the only choice we have is to vote for Warnock. No other group is told to vote in this capacity. No other group is told, well, he ain't going to do nothing for you, and I'm going to do even less for you. So who are you going to vote for? When they go in front of Asians, they don't go to Asians and say, well, I'm not as bad as that guy, so you better vote for me. They go to Asians and say, I will make sure you're safe and protected. Here's a COVID-19 hate crime bill.
Hold that thought. Marcel, do me a favor. From now on, say DVOC 91. Don't say the C word. Keep going. Yeah, flip it. DVOC. It's that word backwards. Think about it. DVOC 91. Don't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
DVOC 91.
There you go.
Hate crime bill, which gives them not just a special protected status. And if anybody wants to doubt that, you can go to the Department of Justice's webpage, and they have resources specifically set aside for Asian Americans. You can look at the money that's been allocated to organizations that cater to the Asian community on the state level, on the federal level, okay? They don't say to them, well, hey, I'm not going to do anything for you, but he's even worse, so you better vote for me. When they go to these Hispanics and Latinos, they go to them promising they're going to renew the DACA Act. So these so-called dreamers, illegal immigrants in our country who have special protected class status can stay. They talk about how they're going to legalize and give them citizenship. They sit there and tell them how they're the future and they're going to make sure their needs are met. When they go to white Americans, well, we already know they're going to come to white Americans. All they got to do is to say to them, we're going to make sure you keep the wealth you already have. Only Black Americans are expected to vote out of fear, expected to vote out of a lack. If there are options on the ballot and neither of them are satisfactory, my answer to us is that we run for office and we become the candidate that has the platform that our people deserve. However, if we are in a situation like we are in with Georgia, the right to vote also means a person has the right not to vote. And if people don't like to hear that, that's too damn bad. Don't get mad at the Black person saying they're not going to vote. You go ask the candidates why they have not been worthy enough to earn that person's vote. That's who you get mad
at. And Diane, here's the thing about this. I'm reading your other comment. Yes, you just said we put our fate and the fate of future generations in the hands of those that hate our very existence. Think about this. Who are they that hate our very existence? It's been proven that it's both sides of the aisle. When you start talking about the Democrats and the Republicans, they're not afraid to show you exactly who they are. That's fine. I love to know who my enemy is like that. But when you start talking about the Democrats, they put all this shit up in front of you that's all golden and good, but then they still won't do shit for you. They're two heads of the same snake. Here's my suggestion for you, and I beg you to do this. Please, it's a favor to me. It's probably not going to be tonight because it's going to be too late. Go look up Ballot or the Bullet by Malcolm X. It's a speech that he made. It will hit you so hard because that speech was probably, 60 years ago? And it still pertains today. And that's coming from one of our leaders. Marcel hit it on the head. And my man Kid Gravity talked about it too. The only way we're going to start making an impact politically is when we have homegrown public servants running for office. If we don't put public servants, if we don't vote for our people, it's always going to be like this. Because the one thing about the politicians that are in office right now is they are bought and sold. They're going to do what they're told. These elected officials, they are selected. They are not elected. That's the reason why you only get two choices, because those are the ones they want to decide. They want to see which ones you're going to choose from. We got to stop that just vote blue no matter who. Nah. We can't do that. And the other thing about it is it becomes dangerous because what does it show our young people? We have to start standing up and we have to make a stand. We have to hold these elected officials accountable, especially the ones that are supposed to be representing us. Because the problem that we have right now is we have absolutely nobody. That's a national elected official that's for us, especially not that damn Congressional Black Caucus. They on the bullshit because all they want to talk about is minorities and people of color. Okay. Diane just said women have already lost the right to govern our own bodies. To not vote leaves us at a risk of losing even more.
Let me say something with and all due respect to Diane, these are the type of people, though, that I really don't bother wasting my time with because they already have their mind made up that we, Black Americans, somehow it's our responsibility to save America. We can never just vote for things specific to us. You talk to some white Americans here in South Carolina, the only reason they vote is if it's something dealing with guns. If you're not talking about protecting guns, you don't get their votes. You don't ever hear anyone calling those white men idiots or trying to guilt them. You talk to some of these white liberal women, the only thing they care about is making sure that Black women can kill their babies. Okay? If it's not talking about saving abortion, they're not going to vote for you. A lot of these Hispanic and Latinos, The only thing they care about, some of them, is making sure that illegal immigrants get citizenship. That's all they care about. When Black Americans say all we care about is reparations, making sure we get protected class status, which, by the way, that is something we are owed. We are not asking, we're owed that. And we talk about getting back the land that's been stolen from us, or getting compensation for it at least. Somehow we are told, put your issues aside and vote to save all these other issues. Vote so this group could have health care. Vote so everyone can get free university tuition. And what happens is these people get in office, and that health care that they said everyone's supposed to get, we still benefit from it the least, if at all. Even with Obamacare, Black women are still dying from giving birth to children at a higher rate than people in Syria, okay? War-torn Syria. Even with us supposedly, let's say we have access to college and universities, a college-educated Black woman is still poor and has less wealth than a white high school dropout. So even when they do all these incredible things that somehow we have the responsibility for making sure it gets done, it never benefits us. And yet they come along and tell us, oh, we got to vote to make sure health care happens. We got to vote to make sure that free tuition happens. We got to vote to make sure this home ownership program happens. And what happens? Those things happen, and white Americans benefit from it, and Asian Americans benefit from it, and Hispanic and Latinos, the white ones especially, benefit from it. Native Americans benefit from it, and we are falling further to the bottom. And so our vote helps everyone else but us. That's not happening no more.
And I wanna say this to Diane, because we also have to learn how to take responsibility for certain things that has happened to us. If a woman wants to get rid of a baby through abortion, they don't have to go to Planned Parenthood. You don't also have to, worry about backdoor abortions or whatever, and hangers and dying and everything like that. There are plenty of natural ways that you can do it. So that issue they want to bring up, don't fall for that, because guess what? As a woman, I'm speaking to her as a woman. Since you're a woman, you have the right to choose to do whatever you want with your body. You don't have to go to the government to do it. You can go to a herbalist. I guarantee you this without question. God forbid there's a rape or incest that happens. You don't have to go to Planned Parenthood or a doctor to get an abortion. Believe me. And mind you, I've had these conversations with herbalists, with nutritionists. You can do it a natural way. And guess what? It won't be as harmful as it was if you went and did the other route.
For the sake of not spreading certain information, I'm not saying that that's not true, but what we're talking about is just realistic things and situations. And so I don't know of herbalists. I've never spoke to one, never been in a situation, but I definitely know people who've been in situations, and that is called for. And a lot of people, let's be very realistic with ourselves. I'm going to you as a woman. I'm 10 times out of 10, who's going to a herbalist to do that? First of all, don't know of any studies or anything that says that that's valid. Not saying that it's not, but what I'm saying is you need to get to the point. Something happened. You want to get to the point. You want to be comfortable with going to a reputable doctor that can make that happen for you. And I'm not saying Planned Parenthood is what it is, but they definitely have regulated that particular choice so much so that it does make it hard for them to do that.
No,
I'm not negating herbalists.
No.
But I just don't know in that regard.
Jay, this is what I'm saying. That's called people not having the information. Yeah. Because once again, they're going to put it out. So that's the only choice that you have. If that's the only choice that you have, and then you put that in government's hands, who has the power?
No, honestly, in all my 40 years, what you just said is new to me. I've never heard of that.
And that's and my point to you is, if you have a conversation with a reputable herbalist, it is not that hard. And would it be done immediately? Yes. And it's without any other harmful stuff that can happen. Because once
Again,
again,
I just want to be realistic. That's
no,
all I'm saying.
but see,
Let's
this is
be
what I'm
May I
saying.
very
say
real.
something about this topic?
When it's
The
your body.
reason-
I'm
hold-
sorry.
one second. The reason why I'm saying it's realistic is because once again, it's an option that is not spoken about at
Right.
all by Big Brother.
Mhm.
Big Brother wants to have control over that. The Big Brother has control over that. What do they have
Yeah.
control over? A woman's body.
Mm.
If a woman can go to an herbalist or whatever and get this done, nobody would know except them. They're not reporting that because it's not. Honestly, this is the other biggest thing about this.
But
It's
is
none of
that,
our fucking
is
business.
that legal? If they have
No, hold up, please.
doctors,
Before you say that, you
how
just
are
said.
herbalists
Think about what you just said. You said, "How is that legal?" You can do whatever you want with, but you can do whatever you want with your body. It's your choice.
Absolutely. But if
So-
somebody is doing that for you, that person's penalized, and they shouldn't
How?
be.
No. But once again, this is how it shit goes. If you're gonna go to that person and say, "I want this done," and they give you a natural way to get it done,
Mm-hmm.
that's to me much better than the other option. Because like we talked about, with something like that, there's a lot of things that go on with your body.
Correct.
The conversation we had with Dr. Phil Valentine, he broke it down. Should anybody be doing it?
No.
I can't. No,
Right.
here's the thing. I can't say that because once again, every woman should have the choice to do whatever the fuck they want to do with their body. You're grown. It's totally up to you. Do I think that women should just be doing it? Like going out there and having sex or people having sex and then just doing it? No.
Sometimes it's not consensual. You have to
Exactly.
throw it
That's
away.
why in that situation. But here's the thing, because I don't want to harp on this. I just wanted to bring that up. I wanted to bring that option up because a lot of people don't know that it's there.
I'm sorry, Marcel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, friend.
Go ahead, Marcel. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say too, I always find it funny how the only time Black women get mentioned specifically is when it comes to abortion. You would think that Black women have spent centuries fighting to get their babies killed. Actually, Black women have spent centuries, and by the way, it's not just Black women's babies, because there's always a Black man involved in the process too. I'm sure all of us here have a mother and a father. So that's a Black man and a Black woman's baby. This is a country that used to tear babies out of Black women's wombs, okay? This is a country that used to feed Black children to alligators. Black women and Black men were fighting to protect our children. Black men and Black women have fought to make sure our children have land, have homes, have wealth. They don't ever want to talk about that. Am I the only person that finds it disgusting? I don't even find it suspicious that the only time they want to make sure Black women are tended to is when it comes to abortion. Over 78% of Planned Parenthood clinics are located in the vicinity of majority Black neighborhoods. Now, Jackson, Mississippi doesn't have clean water. Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean water. Charleston, South Carolina has the most toxic water in America. Denmark, South Carolina, majority Black town, hasn't had clean water in over a decade. We don't have good roads. We don't have good schools. We have a lot of poverty. We have poor paying jobs. We don't have public transportation. We don't have educational opportunities. We don't have hospitals. We have food deserts, but we got abortion clinics. They're going to make sure we have that. If we don't believe that Margaret Sanger, who was the founder of Planned Parenthood, she didn't necessarily push for abortion. She pushed for birth control, but she made it very clear. Her point was to try to minimize, exterminate the Black population. George Wallace, Richard Nixon, two big anti-Black bigots, they supported abortion. You know why? Because they saw it as a way to rid America of their Black population. They sit here and tell us that Hispanic and Latinos are the future, which, by the way, they're not. Okay? We the past, we the present, and we the future. However, they sit there and talk about how fast their population is growing. They do that because they let them come here illegally, have children. Those children are given birthright citizenship. Then they turn around. And I know because I've been asked as a teacher to sign documents and write letters for parents who are in the country illegally but are trying to use their child who was born here, who's a citizen, because they get birthright citizenship, something meant for us. They do that because they're using that child to try to get citizenship in America. So they incentivize illegal immigrants to have children while telling Black women, you're too poor, kill your baby, or you're going to die because Black women, unfortunately, have the highest maternal mortality rate. Black women are 5 times more likely to die giving birth to a child than a white woman. Black women are more likely to die in D.C. giving birth to a child than a woman in war-torn Syria. Do you hear them talking about, let's save Black women so they can have children? Let's give Black women and Black men, because this ain't just a Black woman's issue. Let's give them the reparations they are owed so they can have wealth to pass down to their children. Okay? There needs to be a conversation about abortion that is not controlled by these white liberals who only show up and wear their little pink hats and pat their vaginas on top of yellow taxi cabs when they want Black women to kill their babies. We need to talk about the origins of abortion in the United States. We need to talk about how when a baby has a heartbeat and cerebral activity and that baby responds to his mother's voice, cough the ultrasound, how we can justify that baby not being alive. But if someone kills a woman who's pregnant with a child, they get charged for murdering that woman as they should and murdering that child, which in my opinion, as they should. If it counts as a life then why doesn't it count as a life then? There's conversations we had about abortion, and this whole, some of us, we believe whatever these white liberals put on television. If they tell us abortion is a woman's right, then we just go ahead and run with it. We don't seem like we stop and think and say, wait a minute, now hold on. What about the man that fathers the child? Because if that child's born legally, now whether he does it or not, that's a whole conversation, but legally that man becomes responsible. So if the man doesn't have a say in whether the child lives or dies, then how come the man doesn't have a say in what he should provide for the child? We don't talk about, and me, this is where I look at it. I don't get into women's right, man's right. I get into the right to life. We, all of us, 3 of us right now, everyone listening has a beating heart. Mm-hmm. All of us right now has cerebral functionality. A child with a beating heart and cerebral functionality within or outside the womb, in my opinion, is a living sentient being that has a right to life. And Malcolm X said that Black women were the least protected. I disagree with him. Black children have been the least protected, because and if you go to the slave market museum down here in Charleston and you pick up one of the phones, you were here, and this is creepy. They have people who were actually enslaved sharing their stories. You can pick up the phone and speak to them. And one of the ladies will tell you that they were trying to sell one of our enslaved ancestors, but the buyer didn't want the children. The enslaver took a brick and beat them to death. And she said it used to happen often. So Black children have been the least protected. And when we let these white liberals, because it's mainly them pushing it, tell us that it's our body, our choice, and that child with a beating heart and that child with cerebral function, whose body parts they will then take and use for stem cell, that child doesn't have a say at all. That child's life doesn't matter. That is something that I am strongly against. Because these are the same people who, we go back a few centuries ago, would have been telling us slavery was okay because we weren't human and we need to be civilized. It's amazing how sometimes we buy into these narratives of justifying things that were not okay. That's exactly how slavery happened. And to me, 20 million aborted Black babies. I've spoken to some women who told me not all abortions are abortions, and that this is what I've been told, that sometimes when Black women have certain things happen, they will classify it as an abortion, but won't do the same for other women. So I don't know. But 20 million babies that could have been here and then would have had probably 10 million children. Our numbers right now, who knows our real population, let's say 50 to 60 million, would have probably been somewhere 90 to 100 million. So not only is it a matter of life, but it's also a matter of our political influence. While these other groups, though, they're not telling them to go and abort their babies. They're not pulling abortion clinics in their neighborhoods. If these white liberals like abortion so much, you put the abortion clinics in your neighborhood and give us the wealth. Give us the good roads and the good schools and the clean water and the nice homes and well-paying jobs and opportunities. Let's see if they like that. I bet you they won't take it. So we shouldn't either.
And I want to read a message from Jermaine. Appreciate the message, my man, because I know we know where you at. Jermaine said the narrative is that only the Republicans are suppressing the votes. Well, ask yourself, why is the DNC actively funding Republican candidates?
That is so true.
Over $60 million in some of these primaries. That money could have been used to help people get IDs, getting people to the polls, etc. All of these progressives are careerists. They are not public servants. They are beholden to corporate Dems, not their constituents. Well, Roe versus Wade could have been codified decades ago. Obama promised to do it. Hold up. I don't know. I guess it must have ended.
Yeah, that's it.
But he's absolutely right. And unfortunately, so many of us are blinded by the two-party system. My suggestion for people is figure out a way to become a registered independent. That way, if you're an independent, these candidates got to come at you with something that you agree with. And if you don't agree with it, fuck them. That's the only stance that we can take right now. Because at this point, what we've been doing has not been working.
I have a better one actually too. What we need to do, I don't even care about party. Parties to me are the dumbest idea ever. Like, it's not about its policy always. Party never. I don't care if you're running as a Republican, a Democrat, a Libertarian, Green Party. What I'm going to look at is not the letter that's by your name. I'm going to look at your policy. We got to start looking at policy, not party. I will dare say you got too many of our people. We probably do this more than any other group. Some of these Black Americans, the moment they see a D by someone's name, they vote down ballot D. That's the dumbest thing ever. I'm going to examine your policies. Here's how we get out of this vicious cycle we're in. And this is something that I don't think a lot of us want to hear, because a lot of us don't want to do the work, but we have to. We need to become the candidates that are running for office. We need to become the candidates that are running for office. Even if we lose, we will push the platform. We will push the policies that our people deserve. I think you were saying, I think you said it earlier. When we have those policies, you push it, and people, like I said, white people especially, you're going to get maybe 10 of them who will say, oh, hell no. But that one that says, you know what, I like this, that one will take it and bring it to other white people and other Asian people. That's what happens when you push the policy. We have to push the policies that our people deserve, because what happens? You push the message. The message gets to a broad audience, and Black Americans and Black immigrants who can vote, and white Americans, white immigrants, and Asians, and Hispanics, and a whole different group of people, they start to hear the message. Look at Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, who I don't like, he's never won the presidency, right? But his big thing was always universal health care, free college and tuition, and canceling student debt. Even though those things haven't happened yet, that's all you hear the Democrats talk about. If you are a Democrat and you don't support that, they're going to come for you. He has won the messaging, even though he's never won the office. The same can happen with reparations. We have to stop being politically lazy. We like to talk about our ancestors. After slavery, after the Emancipation Proclamation, I'm honored to be a South Carolinian, because the first people to run for office and become a majority Black state legislator was South Carolina. The first Black man elected to the U.S. Congress, Joseph Rainey from South Carolina, then Robert Smalls. They didn't sit back and say, well, these white Republicans, because at that time the Republicans were the pro-Black party. They didn't say the white Republicans are going to be so nice to us. We just want to sit back and watch them and hope they treat us right. They said, hell with that. I'm going to run for office so I can do right by my people. Y'all, we have to run for office, or we will continue to let them run us over.
I can appreciate your policy there, because that's one of the things that I've said over and over. It's important. You got to get out here and vote, but you don't want to be ignorant into who you're voting for. Like you're saying, you just don't say, hey, it's a Democrat, and whomever said, oh, vote Democrat, or that's what I know, that's what I've always done, that's what my family did. You want to have a little context in that. In other words, just like what you said, that echoes a lot, because I said it on this show. Dig into the policies. What is it that you believe in and that you support? To me, that's it's politics, policies. So how can we not, get into reading exactly what these people say they're going to do? And
we
then
have to build our own candidates. We have to become the candidates.
Marcel.
If we don't do that, all we're going to get, some of us think having a black face in office is progress. No. Just because Walker or Warnock gets a good job, that's not progress for us. Are you kidding me? It's the common people who are going to make the change. Those of us who may not have an Ivy League education, those of us who may not have a father who was in elected office or a mother, we, the normal people who know the struggle, live it every day, we have to start running for office to remind them we run things here, not them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Welcome, Kid Gravity.
I'm riding down 75.
Oh.
Yeah, he in the car, so y'all got to excuse the noise. But I wanted to bring him on because, kid, if you want, feel free to go ahead and converse with Marcel and ask him a question or whatever if you want to.
Well, I voted on Monday and I voted against Stacey, so you can take that with you.
Take that anywhere you want.
And I voted against Warnock. It's just funny that Junior Walker is going to be my senator.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that we can kind of touch on too, is the fact that because you got the background noise, when you want to come on and say something, just go ahead and hit the button. All right?
Yeah. Thanks.
Here's the thing about this, and I don't think that our people get this. You always have to be mindful of where you live when it comes to the voting. We live in Georgia. I'm gonna say this again. We live in Georgia. Jay doesn't live here anymore, but she's from here. The one thing that I'm going to say is this. There is no way in hell Stacey Abrams is going to win. The reason why...
Hey, cool. Is this better?
Yeah, that's much better.
That's great.
All
right, cool.
The reason why Stacey ain't going to win is because, number one, she's gay and she's a black woman.
Alleged.
Do you honestly believe?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because
alleged.
Georgia, excuse me, my fault. Yeah, he's right. My fault. She's allegedly gay.
Alleged.
But she's definitely a black woman. And Jay, this is the reason why I'm saying this. We live in Georgia. Do you think that old white men are going to vote for her? Hell no.
Here's something funny.
Hell no.
Actually, listen to this. I was at a reparations summit 3 weeks ago, and this guy, his name is Chris Smith. He came and he was just telling us some ins and outs about voting and how sometimes the group you think that is going to be for you is not the voting demographic you catch, and the group that you thought was going to be completely against you is the group you get. And with Stacey Abrams' voting record, she did extremely well with white rural men, which is something that you would not suspect. Like these white rural men that live in up in North Georgia, she did extremely well with that group. Okay, so it is sometimes you just never know. And why? Who knows? Because that's not what you would expect. Yet right now, and of course the majority of black men, I'm sure, are going to vote for her, but she's not gay. See, here's the problem with the Democrats. They think because they still get most of the black vote, that translates into all of it. No, there are millions of black voters who don't even bother registering to vote, who we're not even being counted because you're not giving them a reason. They're not motivated. How the hell do you expect them to be excited about voting when nothing's going to improve for them? All I think is going to improve is for illegal immigrants. They're going to get citizenship and land and jobs, and we're going to get displaced. How do you expect them to feel motivated? So there are millions of black voters. I'm not talking about the ones that are registered voters, just don't vote. I'm talking about the millions that haven't even bothered registering. Yes. They are missing out on millions and millions of black voters by being anti-black American and thinking we are so dumb that they can just say people of color and we are going to believe that includes us when we are not people of color. It wasn't people of color on those damn plantations. It wasn't people of color having their black Wall Streets burnt down and Jim Crow and redlining. That was us. So you're going to have to do things specifically for us to address the atrocities that were specifically done to us. So just because you get 85 to 95% of the black vote, you're not accounting for all the millions of black voters who are saying, I'm not even going to bother to register because y'all act like we don't exist. So I'm going to reciprocate their energy and act like you don't exist.
Here's the crazy thing based on what he just said. So many of our people say, if you don't vote, then you disrespecting our ancestors and things like that. Now, here's the thing with that. Based on the people he was just mentioning, you can't fault somebody for not voting if their reason is you haven't done shit for me or my people.
Actually, that's the biggest insult to our ancestors. The biggest insult to our ancestors did not die for us to get the right to vote. They died for us to get what we are owed. And they saw voting as a way to do that. In their minds, once we got the right to vote, we were going to put people in place who were going to do policies to get us the things we were owed: the land, the wealth, protection, good schools, housing, things that our descendants could inherit. That is why our ancestors died. They didn't die just for us to go through some psychological exercise of voting. The biggest insult to our ancestors is giving your vote away for nothing, giving your vote away to help other groups that actually hate you and will insult the legacy of your ancestors. How many blackface skits have we seen from anti-black Jews like Howard Stern and Sarah Silverman? How much anti-blackness have we seen from those anti-black Hispanics over there in California having some little secret meeting, or so they thought, talking about how they wanted to disenfranchise black people of Los Angeles? That sounds like a conversation you would expect white Southerners to have in states like Georgia and South Carolina back in the Jim Crow era, but it was Hispanics doing it. How about Asian Americans, some of them going around trying to blame black Americans for the hate crimes that they claimed they were experiencing during COVID-19, but when the data actually came out, 90% of it was being done by white men, and actual hate crimes increased against black Americans. It only increased moderately against Asians. It actually went up more for us. So these other groups, we vote, they get the benefits. That's an insult to our ancestors. Our ancestors, Harriet Tubman, would blow our heads off if she saw us going to polls voting for people who have made it clear they ain't gonna do a damn thing for us. She would say, is this for what I sacrificed? Are these the people for whom I went so hard? Just to like little wimps with their tails between their legs, going to the polls and giving their vote away without standing up? That woman, our ancestors used to have to get shotguns and go to the courtroom and fight off lynch mobs to save one of our own from being lynched. We're just being asked to stand up and demand policies specifically for us, and some of us are too weak to do it. Pathetic. And you're an insult to your ancestors.
That's the part that's frustrating, because I constantly make posts and I say the same thing. And it's this. The game has been played on us so well. Our oppressors have us fighting for them. That's the craziest thing in the world. They literally have us, like the motherfuckers who hold us down every 2 years, got us fighting against each other for their benefit.
The main oppressors among that group are the ones that look just like us. You see, first of all, we got to take responsibility too. And when I say we, I'm not talking about us individually, but this whole senile flea-faced bastard that they got in the White House, Joe Crow. That is the biggest anti-black Ku Klux Klan bigot.
Yep.
In modern day U.S. Congress. That bastard literally said in the 70s, when asked about reparations, he pretty much said he would be damned for what happened 300 years ago. Now, keep in mind, that was in the early 1970s. Jim Crow was still happening in South Carolina in the early 1970s, okay? Jim Crow, redlining, those were still a thing. Nixon administration at that time was flooding the black communities with drugs. He taught them 300 years ago. That is the bigot that worked with segregationists like South Carolina's Strom Thurmond to keep black kids out of better funded schools. Now, I don't mind us having our own schools and own communities. I felt we should have fought like hell to keep them. But we built this nation. So if a black kid wants to go to that school, they can go to that school. He fought to keep black kids out of better funded schools, and then said he didn't want black kids going to school with his children. One who's a crackhead right now, so good job, Dad. One who's a crackhead. He said that they would turn his school into a racial jungle. He introduced a law to throw the books, him with former Ku Klux Klanman Strom Thurmond, who was from South Carolina, of course. They came up with a law to throw the book at black Americans for doing a certain form of crack cocaine. White Americans using that same drug, but just in a different form, pretty much got a slap on the wrist. He deliberately did that. This is the bastard that wrote the crime bill in the 1990s. But what we often forget, before the crime bill in the 1990s, he had tried to do several crime bills before then that locked up more black Americans than since the days of slavery. That is who some of our dumbass people, and excuse my expression, went out there and voted for. If you wanted to compare, if we were going to do the lesser of two evils, the lesser of two evils was Trump. That he was actually the lesser of the two evils, because one of them had 40 years of actually destroying the black community. One just said a bunch of dumb stuff, and in the 1970s was sued because of discriminating against Puerto Ricans and black Americans, something like that. The lesser of two evils actually would have been him, not Joe Crow, who actually, as I repeat, has locked more black Americans in bondage than since the days of slavery. And whereas Trump came up with that little platinum plan that was really nothing, but it was $500 billion, Joe Crow's plan was lift every voice that is only $11 billion, and he hasn't even mentioned it since being in office. So if people want to deal with facts and not feelings, those are the facts. And I ain't a fan of Trump. And yet I can look at it and compare facts with facts, and you will clearly see who's the lesser of two evils.
Jay, hold that thought, Rope. I gotta say this because I know what you're gonna say is gonna be more serious than this.
Oh yeah,
Marcel, you called that motherfucker a flea-faced bigot. That got to be one of the funniest things I have ever. I call him slow biting. You called him.
I do too.
You called him Joe Crow, number one, and then you called that motherfucker a flea-faced bigot. That shit to me is comical and also so goddamn real and on point.
So you needed to get in the follies.
I had to get that. That's it. I was like, he called that motherfucker a flea face. Fuck flea face. He said a flea face bigot. So it's like he hit it on both points, and then called him Joe Crow, and it meant something because he talked about his motherfucking history. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yo, just real quick. So I'm so honored that you're here on this platform with us, Marcel. You know, you always come on and you make some really good points, and you know, definitely we're not the type of platform that's trying to sway people one way or the other, but we want people to think about what they're doing, because at the end of the day, that's really how it should be. So there's one topic that we have not touched on that I so want to touch on with you. How do you feel about the HR 40 bill? The study of it right now.
I was about to say it's a study of reparations.
Because you said something about Mr. Biden, President Biden, that just really triggered something in me. The fact that it has not gotten into the House just yet, but there was a time. So let's say this. So I've been looking at it, myself, seeing how it's progressed, and it's there, but is it me or is it weird that since February, maybe around March, you haven't heard much about it at all?
Well, check this out. So HR 40 is a study of reparations. It's a
Correct.
bill that really does suck. One,
Correct.
It doesn't specify whom the recipients of these reparations will be. Why is that even a question?
Well,
it should go to the people. Nope, it says African Americans.
Enslaved
Right. That's the
African
problem. They say
into their
enslaved, but
descendants.
a lot of people, a lot of other Black people from other countries where slavery existed are descendants of the enslaved. They don't specify descendants of American slaves.
Okay.
And that's the problem. And that leaves that loophole open. And if you try to do reparations based on race, it is not going to be constitutional. Reparations has to be done based on lineage. That's what they did with the Japanese American. They didn't give all Japanese people in America reparations. They only gave it to the ones who were descendants of those that were in the concentration camps. They didn't give all of the people who were living in areas where America was doing nuclear testing reparations, who are still getting it now, by the way. They only gave it to the ones who were exposed to it or the descendants of. If you try to do something based on race, it's going to collapse. Reparations is not a race-based thing. It's a debt owed to a particular group of people who are the descendants of the ones that this country is supposed to give 40 acres to renew. That bill does not specify that. Number two, the bill doesn't specify any specifics. It's all about study. Okay, no.
It's a study of how to,
and that's the problem. They should specify at a minimum, it should be direct monetary payments. It should be compensation for stolen land. You can discuss, study, and see what more needs to be done, but you should, knowing we've had 500 years of horror underneath the American government, 260 years of horror, you should have specified already what we should get. The only thing you may need to get some time to study is the amount, but you should already come to the table with what we need. Number three, the bill at first did not have any time limit. Now it does. And I worked with the group to help get the time limit added on. But even then, the meetings that they will have are going to be private. They won't be open to the public. And I don't support that. So here, in number four, here's the biggest problem. HR 40 was introduced in the late 80s. The Democrats had the 90s. They could have passed it and it could have been done to study. They could have done it in the 2000s. They did not. Okay? The time for studying is over. What is there to study? That we are the most studied group in the world, Black Americans. They already know what's been taken from us. They already know what we were denied. And here's the thing. To do a study, you don't even need to do HR 40. But I do find it unforgivable. Right now, the Democrats, again, they have control over the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They can easily bring HR 40 to the House and it will pass. Or if it won't, that just goes to show we already know that they don't support it. But they don't even need to go through Congress. Joe Crow can do an executive order to do a commission to study reparations. He could have done that on day one, but he did executive orders for illegal immigrants. He did executive orders for LGBTQ. He did executive orders for Asian Americans. He did executive orders for all these other matters. But somehow the group whose back he said he was going to have, nothing. We should not be surprised. That bastard has over a 40-year record of deep anti-Blackness.
And I want to read what Jermaine just said. HR 40 is something that they dangle in front of Black
exactly. People. That's exactly what it is.
Every election cycle. No studying needed for Ukrainians, though. 80+ billion that taxpayers pay for.
Exactly, Jermaine. No studying needed for Ukrainians. They're trying to give them more. No studying needed for Native Americans who have gotten historic levels of funding. Native Americans have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from this administration. And this administration has 2 more years to go. And Native Americans have gotten historic levels of funding. No studying needed. They've brought over how many Afghani refugees? I believe hundreds of thousands. They're getting housing, and they're getting food and transportation and more. No studying needed. They are trying to give legalization. Right now, they threw Black Americans out in the street in New York City to make this luxurious tent city for illegal immigrants who are getting food from their culture, sofas, comfortable beds, exercise equipment, video games. No studying needed. They're spending over $60 billion a day as of 2021, housing illegal immigrants. No studying. But Black Americans, the people to whom they are originally indebted, they got to do some damn study that they've had over 30 years to pass and do.
Yeah.
Miss me with it.
Yeah. Wow.
It
Incredible.
infuriates me.
Yeah. I think all of us, for the most part, it's just, once
And
again,
that's
it's one
why
of
I
those
said we
things
have to
where
run.
people really need to dig into these policies. It's not to, not, again, we're not discouraging anyone from voting. I actually encourage everyone to vote, but what I also encourage is for everyone to do your research, dig into these policies, read through them. I mean, seriously, it's something that could be life changing for you if you really did, especially if you feel one way towards a certain party in that regard.
Well, let me tell you, Jermaine says something I want to respond to. He talked about how the Democrats talk about voter suppression. I'm
Yeah.
not ever going to deny that there is not an interest with both parties, because
Oh
Jermaine
yeah.
hit the nail on the head, to try to deprive us of our right to vote. However, do y'all not remember, just like a few weeks ago, it was all this hysteria? And remember, for a long time, remember Brian Kemp, how there was all this hair pulling, yelling at the ceiling, yelling at the sky, hysteria about how Georgia was suppressing black voters. Remember that? How come, according to all these articles, historic levels of black Americans have voted in Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Historic levels of black Americans have voted in Georgia, breaking records. So what happened to all this voter suppression? But check this out. The biggest suppressors of voting are Democrats. And here's how. What we don't talk about is how in DC, they just gave illegal immigrants the right to vote. Illegal immigrants. You jump across the border and you get the same voting rights as a citizen. DC just gave illegal immigrants the right to vote. Let me tell y'all something right now about illegal immigrants, at least from Latin America. I've been to Latin America. Okay, Haiti, which is a Latin country, people don't think of it, but it is. Puerto Rico, Mexico, Guatemala, Brazil, and Colombia. Every time I've been to Latin America, especially countries that have a large black population, Haiti, but Haiti's majority black, so that's different. But Brazil and Colombia, which have a large black population, the black people live in dire poverty. They live in slums. That is what a lot of Hispanics and Latinos, that's what they're used to. They're not used to, like, we don't have a lot in America because we're still old. But the fact that we even have a computer, we even have a roof over our heads, we even have a car, that is something you don't see in Latin America. The black people there usually don't even have, if they have a home, it's like 10 to 12 of them in one home. They don't have a car. They get on these little bikes and they catch rides on these little motorcycles. They're not used to black people having anything. If you think these Hispanic and Latinos are going out, are our friends, y'all need to do a quick Google research on how Afro-Latinos are treated in Latin America. They are going to bring that same level of anti-blackness here. So if they give these illegal immigrants a large percentage who are Latino, Hispanic, Latino, they are going to vote. They're going to vote the way that we think a racist white person will vote. If you think a racist white person from South Carolina in the 1950s was anti-black, you haven't seen it until you've seen Hispanic and Latinos who are coming here with the mejorando la raza attitude, meaning bettering the race, which means to have children from lighter-skinned people or white-skinned people. They want to do that because they want to get rid of blackness in their ethnicity. They are used to us having nothing. And if they're given the right to vote, these illegal immigrants, they're going to vote like we should have nothing. So we need to be pushing back against the Democrats trying to give the right to vote to illegals. That's why I'm running. And that's why, sorry, not sorry, if I go to vote, I'm going to vote for the candidates that are for getting these illegal immigrants out of here until we get enough candidates who are reparationists. But more of us have to run because we can't vote for someone who's not on the ballot. I am running again. I hope next time when I'm on the ballot, there'll be plenty of other reparationists who are on the ballot. And if you are a reparationist, you should be for reparations. You should be for deportations. You should be for making sure that illegal immigration is eliminated. You cannot be a reparationist and be for these illegal immigrants coming over here because they are not for us. Okay? They're not.
I got a couple questions for you. I know you said you got to bounce.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Damn, the fucking another gangster done came on. Hold up. What's up? What's up, Leonard?
What's going on? I heard some talk of politics and this and that. I'm like, oh, I'm all with that. So let's go.
Hold up, because Marcel is actually he's gonna be leaving soon. So I got a couple questions. I gotta ask him real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna go on mute right quick.
All right, cool. Marcel, I'm a numbers person too. So my question to you is, and I know you know this shit. How many votes do you need to beat that clown coon ass motherfucker?
Clyburn?
Yeah. How many votes do you think you need?
Well, he doesn't get many. So if I even get and I really don't want to say the number, but let's say if I get just 51% of what he gets, it'll be good. And the reason I don't want to say the number because he think he has it made, but he doesn't realize that he's not untouchable. Okay. But let me just give you this. Let me give you this though. He didn't even get over 50,000 votes in the recent primary. And he had Kamala Harris. She came down and endorsed him. And she said to people, you got to vote for this man. And he still couldn't even get 50,000 votes. Historically speaking, he only gets 150 to 160,000 votes to get in office. So that's not a lot. And I'm going to leave y'all with that number there without giving away too much.
And when is the next election? When you run again?
He is going to be on the ballot for the general election, November 8th. In fact, South Carolina did early voting, but the next election will be November 8th, 2024.
So 2024 is when he's running again. Basically, when you run against him again.
Right. If he runs again, because some people are saying he might not, but I hope he does. I want the pleasure of sending him into retirement.
The reason why I asked you that is because I'm going to do my best to link you up with Kevin Jenkins. I was hoping he was going to be able to get on.
Okay.
I'm going to link you up with somebody that could possibly help you get the money that you need. So
that's very important.
Yeah. So I'm a work on that to kind of link y'all up. I was hoping he was going to get on so y'all can meet kind of face to face. And it's like we had the conversations before. I personally believe your money, as far as where the numbers are, is the fucking young people. Like, the way you going at it, if we can get your numbers up so these young people can know what's up and get them motherfuckers registered to vote for you, that's what it is. Because for everybody out there, I'm gonna let him say what he's gonna say, but I'm saying this to everybody that's watching right now. When it comes to an elected official and a public servant, I believe you're supposed to vote for somebody who is for what you believe, your ideals and things like that. And first and foremost, when it comes to our people, we have to support our own who actually support us. Marcel is definitely one of those people. He is not a bought and sold part. He's a goddamn teacher. He out there helping these children, which is the move anyway. And we all know, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, Clyburn is a piece of shit. Period. Ain't no way to get around that shit. He's been in office for a long ass time too. He's a piece of shit. So Marcel, let everybody know about your social media platforms and shit like that, where they can reach out to you, where they can donate to your campaign, all that.
Thank you. So y'all, marcelforcongress.com/donate. Every penny matters. I'm on social media. I'm most active on Twitter. I know some people don't do Twitter, but it's Marcel, the digit for Congress. I'm also on Instagram, which is Marcel, same thing, digit for Congress. So you can find me there, but my website is Marcel, MarcelForcongress.com/donate. Thank you for calling. Thank you, Jay, for having me. Y'all take care.
All right, my man. Have a good night.
Yeah, you take care.
Thanks, Marcel.
All right.
Yep.
Now,
yo,
Leonard,
fool.
Yeah, what's up, kid? What's up, kid?
Yo, can I answer Jimmy's question? Because he said something about there was only like 300,000 people out here voting.
Go ahead.
All right. I went to vote Monday morning with the wife and the baby. It's only old people that do the early voting because they don't want to stand on that line November 8th. You're going to start seeing more of the young people come out as it gets closer to the election. So probably by next week, you'll start seeing more young people go out. But the bulk of them are not going to come out to the 8th because they'll be like, oh shit, I forgot. I had to go vote. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Jay, do me a favor. Read what Jermaine just said. I got to call Marcel back because Kevin Jenkins said he's gonna be able to get on, and I really want to introduce him to.
Sure. Jermaine said, here's another point. the Democrats say Republicans don't want immigrants here, but they don't either. Here's why. And you can look this up. In the last 20 years, the Democrats have deported more immigrants than the Republicans. Obama deported more than Trump, and that's facts. Yeah, not really sure if that's facts. Not sure. That's probably facts, but I'm not certain because I always thought that Obama was for immigration in that regard. So
nope.
Let's hear it.
That is fact. I'll give you another Obama fact that civilians are not aware of. When we were in Iraq, Obama cut the military budget for us, and he diverted those funds to the Department of Agriculture, Food and Sustenance Department, right? Some people may not know what the Department of Agriculture, Food and Sustenance Department is. Welfare. He did that. We're over there fighting for the country. He takes money that we need to make sure that we're keeping our vehicles and everything up to par. We're getting proper munitions and stuff. He takes that money away from us to fund welfare recipients that aren't even in the fight. And that is 100% true because I was there. He did it.
You muted.
For everybody watching, I was able to link up with Leonard Roy probably less than a week ago. I saw some of his videos and he's on point. And I mean, that's what this is about. This isn't about Republican, Democrat. This is about facts over feelings. Period.
Thank you. Facts over feelings.
That right there is where we have to get to, because unfortunately they keep on playing on our emotions. That's the part that's frustrating, and cats keep falling for it. When I look at a person, I'm not looking for a party. I'm looking to see what the hell you stand for, because for me, I'm about integrity. And honestly, if you full of shit, just tell me and I'm good. I ain't got to be mad at you because you told me who you are.
Thank you.
But don't pump fake people like you're for them and you don't do shit for them. That's the other thing. Because like everybody keeps saying, Black people will vote 95% Democrat. Okay, that's cool. What have they tangibly gotten you? Nobody can answer that. And here's the most frustrating thing for me. The one answer you consistently get when I ask that question is
Republicans are racist.
No, Obamacare. Obamacare wasn't specifically for us, so stop it. No, there is.
Yeah, and the phone. Don't forget about the phone.
You talk about the Obama phone.
Now, if you saw my video where I did the math, 31% of Black America is on welfare, right? Now, I could do it on my other phone and get the exact number. That means you've got like 1 point something million Black people that are on welfare, right? 30% of white America is on welfare, which takes up 72% of this country. So that means that you have 69 million more white Americans on welfare than Black people. I mean, the white people that are on welfare double the population of Black Americans. doubles our population. And you can look it up. Go to the Department of Agriculture, Food and Subsistence website and look at the doggone little round thing with the percentages of who is what.
Yeah.
It's right there. Okay. I don't just say stuff on the internet to try to make myself sound intelligent. I mean, and if you've been watching my channel, you've seen me say it many times. It took me 6 years plus summer school to graduate high school. On one of my recent videos, I said I took a GED test online because I was bored. I failed it.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, I did. I failed it. So I'm glad I stayed in high school and got the gimme diploma.
Yeah.
Well, because I'd be jacked up right now. I failed the GED test.
Not well.
Hey, Brother Leonard, there's a lot of people in this country that would fail the basic citizenship
Correct.
test. So don't feel that bad. Don't feel that bad.
But the good enough diploma program.
Well,
brother, people fail open book tests.
Yo,
it's a good enough diploma.
So, Kid Gravity, I'm pretty sure that you've been viewing all night tonight. Anything you want to add to it?
Yes, I need Maryland to wake up. I need Maryland to wake up. They trying to restart Obama up there. I need them to wake up. Y'all need to look up Westmore one time. That man is duplicitous. They're trying to make him Obama 2.0.
So this is I take it this is a candidate in Maryland.
Yeah, he's running for governor.
Okay, thank you. So who is he running against?
This guy named Dan Cox. Pause.
Okay.
So now he's a what they call it. He's the product of immigrants. He's for illegal immigration. Doesn't like black folks. Not for reparations.
Oh.
Yeah, and they're trying to make him Obama 2.0. Maryland if Maryland votes for that man, they're about to become Hollywood.
There you go.
Because there's a concerted effort right now to make the DMV area and Atlanta new Hollywoods.
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Because all of a sudden now, in the past week here in Atlanta, I didn't see Kerry Washington down here, Oprah, Obama's coming here Friday. Oh yeah, Oprah endorsed Stacey Abrams. Yeah, she endorsed Stacey Abrams. And now Obama coming down here Friday afternoon. He gonna be in College Park.
Oh, we could chop it up serious then, because we both down here in the GA.
Yes,
now,
sir.
Me too.
Okay. Now, have you all noticed how Stacey Abrams?
That was just asking
him too.
Atlanta.
I'm sorry.
Oh, say again. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
I was asking Kid Gravity. Was he also in Atlanta, like food?
Yeah.
I'm in DeKalb County. Yeah, I'm in DeKalb County.
Oh man, you're in Hart.
Yeah.
I'm in Gwinnett.
Oh, you in Gwinnett?
And I'm in Douglasville.
Yeah, you know, Stacey ain't sending the Negroes over here to DeKalb because let Oprah come on Covington Highway and see what happens to her.
I mean,
not Covington Highway.
I'm talking about like when you next to Lithonia. She ain't going down there.
Well,
Lithonia.
Lithonia.
During Stacey Abrams' first run, she was out knocking doors. I don't remember where she was, but she may not have been in that.
And listen here, Stacey's been indoctrinating kids since 2013.
I want you to pay attention to something, and I really love the fact that you just said that. In that first run, she was knocking on doors.
She was with Oprah.
But now she's dependent on these
coons. Say it. Just say coons.
She's dependent on them.
Or I'll be nice because it's your platform. I'm gonna be nice. I call them vote vogers.
Okay, let me break down something about damn, I forgot the woman's name. Let me break down Hattie McDaniel. Let me break something about the Hattie McDaniels looking candidate, okay? That's running for governor, but can't run across the street without being out of breath. Now, let me break this down. The last time she ran for governor, you didn't see black men in the mix, period. But 2 weeks before the election, now she's appealing to the black man to vote for her. And all of her advertisements, all of a sudden, you seeing all these brothers.
Black men. Yep.
It's like,
But-
well, you wasn't doing that before when you had Jesse Jackson down here the last time, and
Mhm.
Obama and Oprah.
But
Hell,
you
when they
look on
had
her
the last
site,
election,
and her site is
Jesse
BS.
Jackson, they got him on the news at one of the polling places because the machines had broken.
Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. I honestly thought that first run for Stacey Abrams, she had it in the bag with Oprah. I mean,
No, she didn't have it in the bag.
No, she did.
Oprah's
Oprah's name is dirt in the black community.
Ooh,
Ever since she did that Michael documentary and she was hating on Michael, oh no, her name became dirt.
And see, I'm from Chicago. I know all about the Oprah, the stuff that they won't put out. Like the fact she got a legal gag
I
order.
got partners in Chicago. I know them stories.
All right.
We're not gonna go there. Not today. Not on here.
Okay, I ain't gonna say it on here, but I'm just saying.
Trouble.
I'm just saying.
Jermaine said, do some research on her business partner, Laura.
Mhm.
I did some digging. Who is that? I'm sorry. I'm not.
Jade, when you put that name in DuckDuckGo, get 2 cups of tea.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say that because you're gonna be there a while.
Really?
Yeah. Do a doggone look on Stedman Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Business Owner that don't own nothing.
Own not a thing.
And then check back with her hairdresser Andre that stayed on 99th and Charles in Chicago.
We're talking about right? Oprah.
Oh, we talking about
Oh, we talking about all day long.
Miss, I love me some Harvey Weinstein. I'm gonna hug up with him at the awards and put him over when I get my award. And shout out to Candace Owens because she said Harvey Weinstein wasn't that bad. Shout out to her. I'm getting her tomorrow.
Please don't
yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you, Stedman, that was Andre's boyfriend, her hairdresser, and everybody in Chicago know about it.
Yep.
Wait. We talking about the same Stedman, right?
Talking about the same Stedman that never married her.
Yeah, they're still together. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're still together for
no,
love.
They broke up. They broke up 3 years ago.
Did?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They broke up 3 years ago.
How much I keep up with Oprah? I didn't know that.
They said they're gonna remain friends.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oprah been spending a lot of time in LA, but they don't want to tell you that.
Well,
yeah, he was a front man for her and Gail. And everybody in Chicago that grew up there on the South Side, we know the truth.
But look here, y'all don't understand.
See, Chicago is city, country, city. It's a city, but it's
it got that country feel.
Country, because everybody know everybody business.
Well, trust me, my stepdad,
including Obama. Let me break it down about Obama. Obama was not elected as senator. Obama replaced the woman that was currently sitting that was leaving office. And then when the next round of elections came up, since everybody vote Democrat anyway, that's when he got elected.
Hey, brother in London, let me ask you a question. Does Illinois go red?
Hell no.
No,
So you think Pritzker is still going to win?
Chicago been Democrat run.
No, I ain't talking about Chicago. I'm talking about the governor's up.
They went red one time and then they flipped and went, nah, we don't like this. We're going back to what it was. Because when they had a Republican governor and he was holding people accountable and cut off the doggone free money, we can't have that.
Yeah. Kind of sucks. Chicago need that.
And you know the thing that really gets me? Now, you know that Joe said the black American female is the doggone backbone of the Democrat vote. Now, y'all tell me if I'm lying about him if he didn't say that. Okay? Because black women vote 90% for Democrats, right?
Yes, sir.
But the thing that twists me in the head is black women always talking about all our men are incarcerated.
But that was...
But that was... He did it. You see what I'm saying?
But brother, I don't know if you're on Twitter. You're not on Twitter, right?
No, not really.
Right, so
I
check this
tried
out.
Twitter. I couldn't figure it out. I'm
2020,
old.
right? 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
They circulated a picture of Joe Biden when he was a young dude. I think he was like in his early 30s. Yeah, or he had black hair. You know, do you understand black women were fawning over this man?
Of course.
Well,
Fawning.
now,
Like they were like, I didn't know Joe had it like that. I'm like, are y'all serious right now?
But that that's the truth behind the whole Lil You Dig. All our men locked up. Well, who made
let's
that
stay with
happen?
the politics here. Let's stay with the politics here. Let's
That is
No,
politics.
that's a
That
part
is politics.
of politics.
Well, that
That's
doesn't
a
mean
part
that
of
the
it.
person look away that you're going to vote for him.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Nah.
I'm serious.
Nah.
Just because of
But
I'm
see,
What?
piece this out. Have you all
Jade,
have
Jade,
you
let me
all
ask you a
noticed?
question. Let me ask you,
And
Jade, let me ask you a question. Seriously, as a black woman, would you have voted for Obama if he had a white wife?
yes.
Ooh,
That's
And
a
who said I
lie.
voted for
That's a
him?
lie, you know it. That's
It-
a lie,
it-
you know it.
First of all, get to know me. It definitely has nothing to do with looks in that regard or who you married to at the time. And you got to
Okay.
think when Obama came along, I was very young.
I'll make it broader then. Do you think black women would have voted for him if he had a white or non-black wife?
Nope.
In
Nope.
2008.
Because if I
Here's
know
the-
people like I know them, they probably didn't do any research to see who he was married to.
Nah. No. Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why I know for a fact. I know for a fact that it would have fucked up. It would have fucked up the vote because Obama was smart enough to bring his wife out there to show that he had an actual black wife.
Definitely strategic. I will not argue strategy.
If he would have had a white wife,
you never would have saw her until she.
The certain demographic of black women, they would have went the fuck off. Oh my God, it's another one. We ain't
Imagine if she came out inauguration day with the mixed kids. Oh Lord.
no, now you know what we still trying to figure out in Chicago. We trying to figure out where did her family rent this doggone Ray Parker Jr. looking dude with the Tom Selleck mustache that took on prom.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the prom picture?
Yes.
That took her to the prom?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why
they can't find that man?
Person was rented.
See, when Shelly Bean, when she was in high school, she was called the Carpenter's Dream at Whitney Young.
Okay.
You know what a Carpenter's Dream is?
Blue collar dude, I guess. I don't know. No, I don't. What is it?
Okay. Flat as a board, need a screw.
Oh.
Yes. Look at Jay. Jay finna hide behind that green screen.
Jeez. Okay.
Oh no.
Whitney Young High School, class 82. If I could doggone reach in my stuff and pull out
Miss Whitefly herself.
If I could pull out an ID card, I'd be like, Whitney Young Dolphins, see right here. Yeah. Been there, done that. She wasn't even take one for the team material back then.
You know, fool, I defer to you. I do.
Then, and what was disrespectful in her book, she wrote that doggone Bo had weak swimmers. I'm like, you never say that about your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
the same chick who said that it felt like she was a single mother all through the presidency. Like, how you say that in public about your husband in front of white people? In front of white people, how you say that? Who paid $150 a ticket?
See,
and these are the types of things that people don't know because they brush it under the rug. But then when cats bring this up, they want to deny it, say it never happened. Oh, I didn't hear that. And that's what, because to be honest with you, I want people to really understand, especially our people. For 8 years, they did a masterful job of making sure nothing came out about Obama.
Mm-hmm.
They made sure while he was in office, everything was fucking spot on. But the truth eventually, the truth has to come to light. It has to. And
yeah,
we
especially hanging out,
and he stitched on himself.
especially hanging out at the same bathhouse where Juicy Smoulouye was hanging out.
That's not you're gonna get this man in trouble. Don't go there.
Oh,
Wait till 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Listen.
Wait till
Hold
10
on.
o'clock.
I just said it's a bathhouse in Chicago, in Boys Town.
Don't go into too much detail.
Exactly.
We want to keep it broad. Because
Okay.
we gotta be careful. But I'm gonna say this.
Hey, shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to Wisconsin. They're doing the right thing. Mandela Barnes is down 8 points. I love it.
What happened?
Mandela Barnes, he's trying to run for Senate up there. He down 8 points to the white boy. I love it. He another one that don't like reparations. And he for legal immigration. He down 8 points. Let's go.
A video. I posted a video on my YouTube channel. It was a brother that went to a Raphael Warnock little, meet and greet, shake hands, kiss babies.
You talking about Marcel?
Yeah.
That was
him.
He
was just that was him that came on.
Oh, that was you.
No, that was him.
No, that's the guy
that had the hat on. That was him.
Yeah, Greg.
I didn't know that was him. Damn. Yes. Okay, he had on a hat.
Sir.
Yeah.
I interviewed that brother a few months ago. Yeah, nah. He ran up on Warnock, lovely, and Warnock was he treated him like he did them homeless people in front of his church.
Yeah,
unless it's Sunday.
Oh, did
no,
unless it's Sunday.
If y'all are interested, we didn't get to show the video tonight, but just look up Greg with 2 G's, Marcel, Marcel Dixon on Instagram. Do a keyword search and just flow through his stack, and you're going to see 2 videos. As a matter of fact, it is the most interesting thing. That's why it caught me off guard tonight. I didn't realize that it was Marcel. I thought it was a different Marcel for some reason. This guy is for real. He's the truth. Definitely look him up, y'all.
It's 10 o'clock. So kid, let everybody know about your show, and then I'm gonna let Leonard let everybody know about his channel. We're gonna go ahead and end the show because it's late.
Yes, sir. Well, my channel on YouTube is Kid Gravity Beyond. I do politics and social commentary, and we deep in the midterm season, so there's gonna be a lot of videos out. I do what most people don't do. I deep dive. So all that surface stuff you see, that's cool. I find out the intricacies and the stuff that people do not like about us. Like, for example, Westmore getting money from Samuel Jackson and Hollywood and Netflix to screw us over. Kevin, what is up?
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
I apologize, but I had to do a whole nother show, and it was long, so I apologize to all of you.
You didn't yell at nobody, did you?
Oh no, actually, this was a very brilliant conversation with a professor I know out of California and his son, Dr. Ely, which are brilliant scientists and theologians, and we were on there talking about a lot of stuff. So I knew I had to do it, but guys, you have to understand, I'm old now. I took a nap. My wife busts open the door. She said, "Kevin, you have to be on this thing at 8:30. You should have seen me looking like a crazy guy after taking a nap." And then I know my man Fu wanted me to do this, and I had to tell him. I said, "Look, I got this short window, but it was managed so well, I was able to get off." And I apologize to all.
And it's all good. And Leonard, do the same thing. Let everybody know about your channel.
Okay, well, my channel is right. The name that is on there, Leonard Roy with 2 R's. I'm the only Leonard Roy with 2 R's in existence anywhere on social media. Very easy to find. I touch on politics. I touch on house music, the history of house music that came out of Chicago, which I'm the DJ that coined the phrase house music. I talk about stuff that we as Black people should be doing, and it angers some people. I talk about this male, female, Black war going on when they don't need to be warned. They need to be trying to love on each other, get their minds right, and get their game tight. Because, see, teamwork makes the dream work. See, because I had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier today. I told her, I said, do you know when you tell a Black man that you're a strong, independent Black woman, you don't understand how men interpret words. You need to change that. And she's like, how so? I said, because when someone says strength to a man, It's competition. When you say independent, that means you don't need me. So he gonna go head on down. He's like, well, first you want to compete with me, which displays masculinity, and you don't need me because you're independent. I'm finna go on down the road. You all need to find a way to convert that term strong independent into a term that does not tell the man you want to compete with him and you don't need him.
I'm gonna tell you the word, and most people don't even know what the fuck it means. Interdependent. If they said that, they'd be good, but they don't even know what the fuck that shit means.
See, there you go. Because I'm like, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link.
Damn,
But-
Stacy out here tweeting like a scorn lover. Jesus Christ.
Really?
Oh,
She's now she talking about Warnock, not Warnock, Brian Kemp and Medicaid. I'm like, baby, go to sleep. Easy.
thank you. Like I said.
Cap, the thing is,
And she don't. And,
I was hoping,
and she don't. She need to stop wearing purple and blue. She need to stop wearing purple and blue. You see, he laughing, right? He already know where I'm going with this. She need to stop wearing purple and blue.
Oh shit! Oh my god!
Looking like Barney the dinosaur with a real good tan.
Oh my God, no. Stop. I'm telling you, November 8th, when she loses, I'm gonna be live. I got the poppers coming from Amazon. I'm gonna have fun that night, man. Y'all
What are you gonna do if she wins?
She ain't gonna win.
I already got a
if she
bottle
does
on
wait,
chill.
if she does win,
Again,
I will give her her props. I will give her her props, but just know, just like Kemp, she's 4 years on the clock. I'm gonna be growing a grassroots candidate down here. And if I gotta do it, I'll do it. But she ain't getting no 8 years.
Wow.
She's not going to win. From a political perspective, she's not going to win.
You see what's going on down in Atlanta with the new mayor? He ain't playing with nobody.
Hold up, Leonard. What about to say, Kev?
No, I'm saying she's not going to win. And it's not about her character at this point, because I mean, everybody can judge her character based on what comes out of her mouth. But from a political perspective, she just did not have a strategy. Her strategy was to play the race card. Her strategy was to suggest that Black Americans were stupid. Her strategy, it was all over the place. It was just all over the place. She really was not cohesive at any level of her messaging. She took, their talking points and tried to push that into a community of people that are under duress. And I think what's happening with Black Americans right now, and we're not monolithic. I hate to say that, but we're not monolithic, because people are now saying, oh, we're not monolithic. No. We're not monolithic for so many different reasons. But I think what she did on abortion, what she did on the voter, the whole voter discrimination piece, her messaging was just horrible. She did nothing to promote what she was doing and what she was going to do for Georgia and what she was going to do for the people that gave her 85% of her vote. And if you look at the demographics of Georgia is a predominantly Christian. If you go into those other places, she wasn't playing to them. She marginalized herself. She damaged her own campaign. She has no political skills. I mean, I'm not suggesting that she needed to lie to people, but she just has no political skills. And then she comes out the following week, last week, and she starts talking about, men actually control the reproduction of it. It was just freaking nuts. I mean, for her to be, but for her,
remember that.
Wait.
Women don't
Yeah, the
have
ultrasound, John.
autonomy over their bodies.
Yeah, but what she did, where she did it, we need to understand where she did that at.
Yeah, she did it for Black folks.
College, and it goes to show you that our HBCUs have lost their moral authority. They have lost their ability to educate our children in a very effective way. And and you can go into these Black colleges right now. And we did a tour, and we went on campus right now. They're all radicalized by suggesting, oh, I'm pro this, but they don't even know what they are. And shame on us for allowing that to happen. A lot of our Black young men and women, they are absolutely confused. They have a mind virus. And it's going to be up to us to go into those campuses and go into those places and have a deeper conversation, because majority of those Black kids really actually believe they know what they're talking about. and they don't have no sense of history because they're not teaching that in the schools. They're not teaching that in the universities. We're not even teaching that at home. So if you look at what's happening to Kanye right now, right? I mean, everybody has an opinion about it, but it's very simple. It's very simple what's happening to him. It shows you without a shadow of a doubt, our business model failed. We chose politics over ownership. Now, he has somewhat ownership of his voice, but what you're seeing now, he has no ownership because we have no ownership. And we're all trying to figure out, should he have said something? Why did he say that? That's slave talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's, nothing that he said out of his mouth was incorrect. What he actually did in the last couple of weeks, they showed us and they showed him that he was 100% correct. They can't control themselves. These corporations only want to commoditize off of our consumerism. So that's why when I hear Boyce Watkins talking about we're the #1 consumers in the world, that's bullshit. I don't want to be a consumer. I want to be an owner. That's a failed. Every time I hear him say that, I want to throw my computer out the window because it's about ownership. It's not being about being a consumer. We have been a consumer in our politics. We've been a consumer in our religion. We've been a consumer in our education. We don't own anything. And that's why he's being attacked. And what he did was he exposed Black entertainment industry for what it is. There are a bunch of, I can't say it because we have a lovely lady on this in the air right now, but anybody that's, look, I'll give you an example. There's 2 movies that are coming out and I've been watching this. Emmett Till and Emancipation. Now, why are they coming out right now? They're coming out now to charge us up because people don't understand Black history, African history, the whole history of Black Americans in this country. The average person cannot. So what they're doing is they're charging us up. They're saying, oh, well, you know, white people did this, white people did that. Well, okay, I know that history. I got 3,000 books in my house. I got a library downstairs that has every aspect of Diop, every aspect of Doc. I got it. But I'm saying, what are Black people doing to themselves? And what have we continued to do to ourselves? We are slaves among slaves. We have a mind virus. So I'm really fascinated when everybody's talking about, oh my God, the movie Emancipation is coming on. I'm like, what? Like, really? You are what? I mean, Emmett Till, they don't even understand the construct of how Emmett Till happened. But Hollywood is telling our story, and they're using modern day slave catchers to tell our story that look like us. So never mind the barbarian at the gate, worry about the barbarian inside the gate. And we have to push back. You got, what's this movie, Rwanda? What is that? What is that thing?
Hotel Rwanda.
That is an illusion. That's a fantasy. And, you know, and Black people are going to spend billions of dollars to go see that fantasy because they don't want to deal with their reality.
Now, can I springboard off of your doggone statement about the Emmett Till movie? That's why I was holding up this DVD right here. Okay, this is the real story.
That's the
told by his mother, a documentary. Okay, it came out in 2005. I tell people, you want the real story, get the DVD, the untold story of Emmett Lewis Till. Mamie Till was all in the whole documentary. This is the true story. See, this is the true story.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's on an app on Tubi. TUB.
Oh, it is? Oh, I'm gonna.
Yeah, it's the real story. His mother is on there speaking, and she's not going to make anything up about the child that she lost.
Yeah, she narrates it, and as it tells the story from beginning to end, and she's quite telling of everything, all the things that we didn't know, things that occurred. They even get into, you know, the news rights and everything that was happening, and she tells the story of how some of it was done in a way that wasn't even with her permission in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. You're right, Leonard. It's really good.
Now, this was in 2005. This is almost 20 years ago.
Correct.
Now they want to come out with Till. And, of course, Hollywood is going to do what they do.
Well, the reason they're coming up with it is because they want us to have this overinflated conversation about race. See, they're very clever.
It plays on the sensitivities of
That's
that.
right. That's right. Jay. You're absolutely correct. And you know what? I'm about over it. And they don't want to hear from people like you. They don't want to hear from people like us. We have a group of Black Americans in this country that are modern day slave catchers, and we need to call them out. And Black Hollywood, I mean, Beyonce all the way down, they are an abomination to me. You know, and when they claim onto their blackness and no, you're not. You're just a proxy of the corporation of white supremacy because you really work for the corporation of white supremacy. So all of these Black people that are on MSNBC, CBS, ABC, working for Universal, you work for the corporation of white supremacy. You don't have the right to come to me to talk to me about any of it.
Now, to springboard off that, anyone that's been watching my channel, I've said, you got your Joy Reids, your Don Lemons, etc., talking about how hard it is to doggone excel in the United States of America if you're Black. But Don Lemon, last time I checked, had $10 million of net worth. So how could you, as a human being, take color out of it? How could you, as a human being, tell someone how hard it is for you to come up in this country due, number one, to your color, number two, your sexual orientation, but you've got $10 million net worth? Make it make sense to me, because the math is not mathing.
Yo, listen, because like I said, we don't went past the time. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. But here's the thing, Kevin, I was really hoping that the timing would have been right for me to introduce you to Marcel. If you watch the show and if you go back and watch it, I'm hoping you can get your peoples to get behind him against Clyburn in 2024, because he deserves. You'll see why he deserves to win. But I'll probably link y'all up on the phone. Leonard, you welcome back anytime. Kid, you already know what's up. Jermaine, you and the family are in our prayers. And Jay, welcome back. And for everybody out there, I want to thank y'all for tuning in, because as usual, we have real conversations on the show. We're not going to sit there and have emotions over facts.
Right.
Here, it's facts over feelings, because we have to deal with the reality of what's going on. We're not going to deal with the bullshit. You can hear from different perspectives. So don't fall for the okie doke. And before I get off, just real quick, Kid, is this still early voting? Do I gotta wait till November with the last day?
It ends November 4th. Yeah, it ends November 4th.
All right, I'm gonna go vote tomorrow. And just so y'all know, when I go vote tomorrow for the Warnock Herschel Walker race, I'm gonna vote for myself.
Reparations.
I'm vote for myself.
Vote for reparations.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Write reparations.
I can write in reparations on both, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Because they use the computer, so yeah, you could just write whatever you want.
I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna knock that out. And like I said, and Kevin can attest to this. Matter of fact, Leonard, you might want to text me if anybody wants that documentary. Text me and I will get it to you. It is as powerful. Kid, did you watch part 2?
I'm gonna watch it as soon as I get off. Brother,
when you watch part 2, you're gonna want to hit. You want to hit what's the name? Frauchi so hard. It's way worse.
Are you talking about
Yes. I don't want to say the name. Yes. We talk about that documentary. Part 2 is gonna piss you the fuck off. It's especially, and you're a parent, it's gonna make it even worse. When you see this, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? It's bad.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I read some stuff, but yeah, I gotta get the confirmation.
Jay, it's good to see you again. I'm proud of you guys. I apologize for being late, but I hope you keep doing this, because right now we need these conversations. Because if I see, those YouTubers and those people out there talking, they scare the hell out of me, because they have no concept of what they're talking about. But we need to get a little bit more disciplined with our people. We need to tell them the truth. I'm so sick and tired of the maximum sophisticated confusion. When I talk to Black people, sometimes I don't know to either go jump off a bridge or go drink some scotch all day, because I don't know what they're talking about. I am completely dumbfounded by their level of their mind virus. I mean, I've been watching some of the stuff that's online, because I'm in the airport all the time, Jay, and I'm looking at stuff. It scares the hell out of me. And if you see our kids, how they're depicting our kids, how we're depicting our women, we went from Cosby to reality TV. We went from Cosby to, what is that, twerking. I saw a segment the other day where I saw young kids being encouraged by their parents to screw each other, the act of screwing each other from behind. Black people.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Well, I tell you. My 6-year-old grandson, I had to take him to the emergency room today because he had pink eye. What did I see in the emergency room? A bunch of Jiffy popcorn bags on the head, catfish tail eyelashes, just a flapping, and sandals.
Sandals. Wait, not even skips.
No, sandals.
No,
that's
slides.
That's what I saw up in there. And of all the men that were in there with children, it was only 3 of us in there. I counted.
That right there.
3 men. 3 men in there. 3 black men with the children. And note, there were no white people at Emory today. No white people.
Maybe they went to Piedmont.
Unless they worked there. But, so I'm sitting here like, okay, you got 3 black men. These are my grandkids. So I just got them, temporarily until my daughter gets set up. She retired from the military, getting the house built from the ground up, which I don't see as logical. But I'm like, you a grown woman, do what you do. They in there, Jiffy popcorn bags on their head and all this old other mess. And I'm sitting there like, and aggravated talking about, why y'all taking all day? I'm like, do you have a job to go to?
Listen,
if your child is sick, all day is all you have to get them proper medical assistance. See, once you have a child, me time is over.
Hey, Jay, you have a podcast, Jay?
This unplugged for you, mind. This.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah,
I like to follow all of you because I love what you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, I don't get allowed to come out in public often.
I'm gonna make sure I get you. I'm gonna get you the information. And Kev, don't.
Hey, Kevin, you're in the DMV area, right?
He in Jersey.
I mean, no, I'm in Florida. Actually, I live in Florida.
Jersey and Florida. Jersey and Florida.
I'm in my New Jersey house now. I can't wait to get the hell out of New Jersey.
Your neighbor. I'm in New York.
Oh, you're in New York? Oh, come on. Sure. When I come back again.
Oh, y'all got hey, Jade, you got to come back
lunch. Are you wearing, or you in, you're up or down?
I am in Westchester, Lower Westchester.
You're Westchester. Okay, cool.
I'm near the Bronx. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm in Georgia and by way of Chicago, and I ain't going back to the shop.
Thank you. I ain't going back to New York City. I ain't going back up north. Nope.
No, New York City is dark now, man.
You can have the snow. Oh, did you hear, Fu, you heard what happened in New York, right? Thanks to Brizza.
Oh, the case. I know. Oh, yeah, yes.
Oh, that was.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Here's the thing. It ain't even about just
what?
Nah, and
they suspended the VM.
Whoa.
No, he's saying that because he's part of it. No, it ain't because of just RZA. That's because of him too.
Oh yeah.
No.
I didn't know Kevin was
because of who?
I didn't know Brother Kevin. I'm sorry.
Oh, Kevin is on it.
I know Brother Kevin. I apologize.
No, listen.
No. Let me just tell you this though. If anybody takes credit for that, that's not good. This movement in New York has really grown. I spoke there like maybe 20 times. There's a lot of. I had a show today, as a matter of fact, with all of the people that were responsible for continuing to push this, all of the firemen, all of the teachers, all of the sanitation workers. You know, the medical freedom movement is very, very bright group of people. They're very smart about how they go after these things. But I mean, all of us play a role. But if anybody's taking credit for that, I'm going to be quite concerned because there's a lot of money that was put out there for this case. And this young man that took on this case, he was not even a part of our movement. This young lawyer just knew it was wrong, and that's leadership, right?
Yeah.
But look at all the people that lost their jobs. I mean, look at all the people that are under duress. Look at all the people that were coerced. Look, I mean, that was God. We had a judge in the system that actually got it, because courts don't work for us. I don't care who you are. The courts work for the government. And I got to tell you something. It is a very proud moment. That particular case is going to open up the floodgates, because it's precedent at this point, and it's going to be very good for everyone. And I tell Black Americans they need to be paying attention to these cases, because it's important, because it's going to open up the floodgate for future lawsuits, because a lot of people are now damaged because of them taking that experimental biologic. But that is just it's so many cases in America now. Dr. Ely is doing a case right now in Oregon. Tom Rentz is doing a case right now against Facebook. I mean, right now, I'm on a disinformation list. There's a case out of Missouri and Louisiana. They're deposing Fauci and deposing all of those people now. So you have like 450 cases out there. I mean, that's right before the courts now that are going to be a game changer. So institutionally, from an institution perspective, there's a lot of institutions and a lot of people that are putting money. And I'm telling you, kid, you need to pay attention to that. I think that if we should share that case with everyone, because there's a lot of people that are going to need that precedent in Georgia and other places around the country. So I'm very proud of that. But now, guess what? A black mayor, Democrat, a black so-called governor, Democrat, are appealing it because they don't work for their constituents. And this black mayor, I call him Mumbles. I've known him for a long time. He's an absolute idiot. I mean, he's anti-black. We need to start calling these kinds of people what they are. They're anti-black. You have black Americans that work in the government, black Americans that work for these industries that are anti-black.
Yeah. Well, let me give you 60 seconds of Chicago, and it might not take 60 seconds. Saturday from 8:30 p.m. to Sunday at 9:15 p.m. 24 hours and 45 minutes. 14 murders.
Kev, if you can, see if you can get that lawyer to come on the show.
I tried to get him today. Now, you have to understand what's happening to this guy. I can get him. That's not a problem. I tried to get him today, but the guy's a national hero now. I mean, he's everywhere. This young lawyer, I got to tell you, he did it on his own. He was not even a part of the national movement. He just knew it was wrong. Now, imagine if we had a number of black lawyers operating that way. Imagine if we had a number of Kanye's, whatever his name is at this moment. Think about that. What you're doing on this show is spreading the good news, right? The gospel, right? And we need to keep doing that. But that young guy, man, he came out of nowhere. This young guy came out of nowhere. And there's another lawyer, a female lawyer. I think her name is Bobby something. She was the one that really is kicking New York in the butt. But there's a lot of young dynamic lawyers. But here's the deal. There's only one lawyer in New York. One lawyer in New York, and she's a black woman named Trisha Lindsay. Right? Trisha Lindsay, one black woman in New York that's right before the courts doing the same thing right now. And nobody even knows who she is because we're so busy, looking at BET. We're not paying attention to what's going on in the real world. This one black woman, Trisha Lindsay, young, dynamic black lawyer.
You let anybody in that circle per se, they're more than welcome to come on the show because people most definitely need to hear this. Now, I'm gonna say this before I end the show, which is gonna be frustrating. We could bring people like that on the show that's doing good, that's actually there to help the average person. And there's gonna be some clowns that's gonna say, I don't know why they did that because all they wanted them to do was just take that so they could be healthy. Not real but they out there fighting for people to keep their jobs. That's how brainwashed. I'm not gonna say our people, everybody is, but especially our people. But Kev, don't forget, we still need to talk. I still need you to look me out and help me out.
You know what? I have a strategy for you. If you call me tomorrow, I think I can help you.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow. For everybody, once again, we can't thank you enough. I'm gonna definitely link Marcel up with Kevin. And Leonard, you more than welcome, kid. You already know you down for whatever. Jay,
Leonard, I followed you.
Yeah, I did already too. And kid, I did send you Kevin's. You got Kevin's number, right?
I think so.
I'm almost.
Kid, you can call me anytime, man. And anytime you want.
Yeah,
Make sure you.
I gotta have Kevin on the show after this election cycle.
Yeah,
Call
and
me
make sure
anytime.
you text them and send them the information about your show. But for everybody, we'll see y'all next week. Hopefully, we have another. I'm gonna say hopefully we have another guest like we did, like Marcel. And if not, it's gonna be a powerful panel like we did tonight. So we'll see y'all next week.
Hey, Fu, send it to me again.
Yeah.
All right,
All right. Peace out.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you.
Be a blue sign that says